order at 7:09 p.m. on April 8th. We are meeting in the Slade Building Conference Room. We have 3 members present, so we have a quorum. We are going to next review the minutes from March 11th, because...
Meeting is being recorded.
Oh, right, yes, and the meeting is being recorded, and, will probably be posted, onto local channel, which is channel 192, by the way.
Oh.
I had to provide that information, to someone today, so I went on and clicked around until I found it. It's channel 192.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would
we
like to
have
watch this
the
too.
minutes from March 11th. Thank you for doing them. They look, I didn't see any.
I did, right here, 7035. It's supposed to be
okay.
705.
Okay,
Call to order.
all right, so we have one minor correction noted by Nancy. I'll make that correction on here. Official copy. Okay. There was no meeting on March 25th, because there was not enough for a quorum.
Oh, jeez. We continue on.
We got a lot done at that meeting.
Yeah. So make a motion to accept it.
So Judy makes a motion to accept, I'll second it. Are the 3 of us in favor of the minutes with the one correction of the meeting called to order at 7:05 p.m.?
Aye.
All right, minutes approved. Judy, is there any reports on COVID-19 flu?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
The Maven has been, just recently though, put on the help listing of Maven, which is accessible by anybody.
Oh, there's a help listing now?
Yeah, there always has been. It's accessible, but anybody can access it, yeah. And, they recently put, up some new information on
On TB?
and the,
Yeah.
tuberculosis and measles.
Okay.
Outside of that, it's pretty quiet.
Okay, next we have Title V reports and perk tests. Oh, let me sign this when we start. Go ahead. We have a conditional pass of 10 Elm Street. Needs a D-box released. Okay, but the water test passed. That's good. Nice. Nice. Where is... The water analysis is looking for ammonia as nitrogen and nitrate as nitrogen, but there's no E. coli or coliform.
Well, that's for the Title V, so the water
I'll let you all look at this, and, you know, that's the place that we stopped at
Yep.
in December.
Yep.
Do we think we need to ask them to do an E. coli coliform?
Oh, in that place? Yes.
Yeah, I do too. I think we're gonna put in a request before we sign off on the Title V for this one. They did the water test because the well is 90 feet, not 100 feet away from the septic stuff. But I believe that it's, we would like to request a water test that shows E. coli coliform numbers before we'll pass the, so we'll give Luke, Roddy a call,
Okay.
and, tell him that the nitrogen levels are not sufficient testing.
3, 4. So you want a E. coli and coliform, second time through, after they put the system, after they repair the system?
With the D-box, if it comes through negative now, no, that should be okay. The D-box is,
It's coming through negative on 3, 4.
so the water should be tested not at the D-box, of course, cause that's septic. Should be tested at the kitchen or the,
This is the well,
yeah.
yeah, collected type supply well. I know where you're going.
Yeah, it should be a kitchen
And
sink test.
Right, yeah,
So we want Jay to have a kitchen sink water test,
Mhm.
Luke, excuse me, sorry, I don't know why I said that.
Lucas, yeah.
For E. coli and coliform. This is stuff. Alright, so, the second one, so it's, asking.
Do you wanna put a note on this?
Yep, I'll do that. I'll write it on the side.
Okay.
The next one is 25 Flag Road, which passes. Would you guys take a closer look at that one? I'll write a note.
We wanna pass the 126 New Westminster Road, since that one passed. Said you wanna pass on the.
Oh, sure, I can. You want me
And
to?
she can
you want
look at that
this
one.
Yeah. Since that one passed as well.
Mm-hmm.
And no little sticky notes attached to it.
Which is good.
This one has an outlet filter attached to
I
it.
didn't look at them.
Okay, I got the whole thing there for you.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
So who's the sludge judge?
It's
says how are dimensions determined, and then it says the sludge judge on it.
Really?
Yeah, I just didn't know what a sludge judge was.
Huh.
I've never heard of that either.
The sludge judge.
So that's a new piece of equipment, huh? Look that one up.
Another cool name. Sludge judge.
It's a different system. This looks like an awful small tank, doesn't it? Or maybe it's just the way the picture is.
It could be.
Okay, so, Google says, Diana, that a sludge judge measurement and uses a device, typically a long, clear plastic tube, to accurately measure the depth of settled solids in water, wastewater treatment tanks or septic systems.
Okay.
Now we know.
A little tool to use.
Everybody's allergies are bad.
Yeah.
I think I'm also getting allergies and I don't see that.
I think it's the weather.
Mm-hmm. That is,
Do you wanna look at allergies?
okay.
Or do you wanna look at those?
I wanna find, that one looks fine to you?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you know it's allergy season when you carry around cough drops and
It's
children's Zyrtec to Sunday school. Pass them out.
Then the next one is, so we've looked at 25 Flag Road, which passed, 126 New Westminster Road, which passed, now we're passing around 8 Adams Road,
Which
which
failed.
has failed.
So that means the whole system's gotta be redone. What part failed?
Oh, that's a pricey endeavor. And the septic fails.
20 to 30,000. Yeah.
What is it, like 40,000?
Anywhere's,
And then if you have to have trees taken down, you know, in another area or whatever.
Yes.
yeah, you can go from 20 to 50 grand pretty quick.
Hmm.
It's not cheap anymore. But neither are citywide septic systems to maintain.
So it was backing up into the D box according to this. Are empty spots, 5 lines. Oh, jeez, that's a lot.
Hmm?
5 lines,
Wow.
not a small system. Any pictures? No pictures.
What size house is that?
Doesn't say.
How many bedrooms?
Look at that. sewage into facility.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Due to overloaded or clogged SAS or cesspool. It's also backed up into the D box, of course.
Right, 'cause that's outside.
Yeah.
Back into the residence, that's pretty scary. An unpleasant experience for everyone.
Sure.
Mm. Lot of empty pages. So obviously, when you saw that, that was the end of that.
Okay, while you're looking at that, we'll also pass around one-stop shop water tests.
And there's 3 of them here, and you already looked, so those are the ones that you looked at.
Oh, right, I did look at them before.
Good.
And I'll let you look at them. And then a new one is 125 New Templeton Road, the second water test. Yay. Oh, it came in. Yay. Perfect. Exactly what we were looking for. And they're low on iron too.
I saw that.
Nice.
I don't even really usually look at the stuff, but
And really low on manganese. Ooh, very nice. Okay. Oh. Thank you. It's right on top. We had asked for a second test, and there it is.
Okay.
Um. I wrote it that way, that we expect the other documents in the future. That makes sense, right? I get smart after a while. Do things the smart way. No wastewater tests.
that you've seen, so.
I know, but I
Just
need
sign
to.
it, yeah.
Okay, permits to be signed, Roddy and Son installer permit.
And you already
I signed,
that.
so pass it around. That was so he could get going on one of the jobs.
Sign this one.
Do you want us to go ahead and sign it?
Yes, please. And then we also have HG construction installer permit. That next. Mm-hmm.
This one, you've signed that already, it
Yeah.
just has to go after that.
Yeah. Did I sign
Oh,
that?
yeah, you did. Yeah.
What was it that I signed? What was it that I signed?
Oh, that's in here.
Okay. I
I
forget.
can't remember what it was.
I can't either.
It's in here somewhere. Oh, wasn't it, AP or something. That was the AP to pay.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, that's right. He wanted some money,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right here.
Okay, these have signatures, so that's
So
those
the-
two.
okay.
And this is Oak.
Then we have Base State Concrete installer permit and Hubbardson Pizza Palace food establishment permit.
Yep.
Okay. And these, yes.
That's what we were waiting for.
Yay. Okay, there's some of that. Okay. Did he date it?
He's going to, both of these, because, we had to find out he wouldn't date it until he knew who the installers were.
Perfect.
So it's in my email, I'm sure, so. I mean, he reviewed them all, but he wanted to wait to date it until we knew who the installer was.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, next we have, septic engineering plans for 148 Ragged Hill Road. There's a couple little copies,
I think there's 3 in there.
there's a big copy, there's another big copy, there's another big copy. Alright, let's see what we got.
This is where we need Liz.
Yeah, she catches things on these, not way better than the rest of us. So they're gonna pull out, according to what I'm seeing, the existing septic tank is to be abandoned and put in a new one, like, right next to it.
Proposed and existing, it looks like they're gonna pull it completely out
They may, yeah.
and then put a whole new one in, a triple
Right.
filter system.
Right. You are correct.
Pretty fancy.
It's for a 3-bedroom house. Tank will be 1,500 gallons, which is correct. Okay.
Real sorry.
Let's see if Judy can fold that.
No, I can't, you know that.
I was just watching Judy. I was like, I'm gonna watch Judy,
I'll
cause
do
I
it.
don't know
Yeah,
if I'm
now
gonna.
turn it the other way. There you go.
This is why we have Liz.
All right, did I do it right?
Yep.
If
All
it
right.
falls up flat, we're good.
Here we go.
I'm
Get an
just-
A.
I'm
It
signing.
naturally fell into place. I take no credit.
Sign as fast as I can. The next one will be for 30 Grimes Road, a new construction site.
Only 2 days.
Okay. Hand them out. That'll be okay. I'm not signing these little ones. Put it back in order the way you have it. Oops, not quite.
Yep. So that is the okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Wow. Looks like a long, narrow lot. Is that what you're seeing on the big picture I'm looking at?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Small lot.
It's like a strip.
Yeah. Did they get the, building, do they have the 200 feet access to Gardens Road? They get a waiver from the builder?
Well, I know we did, I know he did a street address, so.
So they got whatever needs to be done, okay. Reserve area, proposed tree.
Okay. Cause it's long now, I'm trying to put it together in my head.
Existing garage? I thought it's new construction.
There it is.
Okay. Proposed bedroom, got it.
Look at the driveway, holy smokes.
Way I look at it, there's a lot of elevation change here. Either up or down, I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I think some of them,
Don't they usually number it?
Yeah.
It's not on this.
1060
no.
1064. 1062. Proposed well. This almost reminds me of the land across the street. And he had to buy 6 acres.
From where?
It's right across the street from where I live.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh,
And they bought 6 acres. the first acres for frontage, the second acres for the house, and the third acres for the septic system.
Wow.
Well, that's because of the way the land is, you know.
When you're looking at that first page with all the driveway, says something, where the house is. If you're looking towards the top of that page, something about wetlands in that statement there.
Edge of wetland, right here. Yeah.
What's the distance from the edge to the house? Is it measured?
It's a wetland restoration plan provided by Karen Environmental, so.
Did it go before Concom?
Yeah, it has.
Okay. Alright. So the Conservation Commission looks at land sites if there's any issues. That's why I asked.
Yeah. There's even a power company easement on this thing.
I see the New England Power Company is.
Yeah. And there's a culvert. Gee, I hope it's worth all of this. It's a 25-foot wetland offset down by the bottom of the driveway as well. 30,
What wetland?
30-foot side zoning setback.
I was trying to see, but yours, it's upside, Judy's is upside down, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hard to compare.
Yeah,
Okay, I signed one of the little copies.
Okay, okay.
Alright,
not a wetland.
like I said, I hope it's worth all of it.
Well, it limits what they can do.
Yes, it definitely is.
An easement and so on.
And a culvert and wetlands and all that other good stuff. We even did it.
Very good, Judy.
You are professional.
It folds itself. I don't
Okay.
fight it.
Only took 3 years to learn how to do that.
Is there an upstairs to this?
No, they're
No,
just
they're
over
in the
there.
other
room.
They're
Oh.
No,
doing a
they're-
rehearsal, I think.
Oh, okay.
The militia's doing rehearsal before Memorial
That sounds like
Day.
there's an upstairs, doesn't it?
It did, it did.
There have not been any food inspections done yet.
Okay.
But, I think almost all of them have all their paperwork in now. So we're all ready to go forward with that. The zoo permit application, I think what was missing was a definition of a zoo. I don't have, do we have, is that in here?
Yeah, we were just gonna put it in a better order as well.
Okay, so the order, I didn't bring it with me, I'm sorry.
I have,
You have a copy of it?
I have paperwork here from what you originally had
Okay.
done.
You know, when I come into the office, you can dump it on a copy on my desk and I'll look at it.
Okay. I have, is this the same?
Yes.
This. Just keep this together.
So we need to, on the second page of it, it's the regulations for zoos, petting zoos, animal shanks, and animal sanctuaries. We should probably include aquariums. God forbid, just so we're covered, under the same regulation. What do you think?
Aquariums?
Would we ever get an aquarium here? that someone would set up
Right.
for business. So, we need to add, the definition of a zoo is a collection of living animals, usually for public display.
Well, if you're gonna add animals and fish,
Oh.
So that should be first, is the, definition of a zoo, right? And then 2 should be the definition of animals, right?
animals and fish.
Right, and fish. Okay.
Birds. They're not animals either.
Right.
They're not mammals anyway.
Right. Animals to include all mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, arachnids, arthropods, and fish.
Oh,
Is here.
covered.
Cool. I got it.
Alright, so that would come
Even those
to,
little insects that bite us.
and then, 3 would be this paragraph that says all zoos, petting zoos, animal rescue and sanctuaries need to register with the town, the Hubbardston's Board of Health annually. Annual water test needs to be included with the registration. These businesses must have a town business license. These operations must follow Massachusetts MDAR and federal USDA rules. They must have a valid exhibitor's license if the public is invited to see the animals, and a valid health certificate from the state vet each year. An inspection by the Hubbardston Board of Health and/or Animal Control will be done yearly to check animal care, record keeping, sanitary guidelines for the care of the animals and the interaction of the public with the animals, as well as up-to-date state and federal regulations documented. We need to add the word documented. Alright, then section 4 would say, 1 health certificate from 1 veterinary inspection is acceptable for all animals of the same species. This is from the state guidelines per se.
Yeah.
When submitted with the itinerary of dates and locations of events at which the listed animals are to be shown or exhibited. This means that a separate certificate is to be done for each species of animals. This is done at all the big zoos. Or clearly defined in the health certificate that each species has had a health inspection. For any itinerary, the names and location for each New England fair or show or open zoo visits must be prepared by the owner/owners and presented at the time the OCVI is written. So that would be section 4. Section 5 would be complaints made to the Hubbardston Board of Health will be investigated in accordance with the state and federal guidelines and done in a timely manner. The Hubbardston Board of Health reserves the right to close a facility if necessary or fine the owner/owners if the care of the animals is, wait a minute, I left something out here. The care of the animals and all state and federal guidelines are not being followed. So I'm missing a word here, and I don't even remember what it was. Can you look at that last line there and see what I should be putting in there? Lost track. Is under question. How about that? If the care of the animals is questioned, that's what I need. That's what I think I was trying to say. If the care of the animals is questioned. section that says, these regulations will be reviewed. How many years?
Can I write on this?
Yes,
Don't we, didn't I put that at the front of?
beginning?
All the regulations need to be reviewed every 2 years.
I thought maybe 3 years, does that sound right?
Wait a minute.
Maybe not.
Here, I got it. I brought it. I brought my copy.
No, I didn't do that.
If concern is raised to the care of the animals,
Yeah,
Sure.
then-
if concern is okay.
Yes, yes.
So,
So I guess we need to add
we should probably put that right on the front page.
Mm-hmm.
okay, all right, we're gonna do two things tonight.
Annual review, or every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Yeah, that can go on there and we'll put it on here too.
Put it on the front.
It's all right to put it on there as well as an, item, next item.
I did notice as I was flipping through them in review, there's one paragraph we gotta go back
I know, I didn't know what that sound was.
and review.
It coincided with an open.
There's one paragraph we're gonna have to go back and review, so,
Okay,
because
So I clarified.
yes,
it's missing a piece of references, but then the piece isn't there, so.
and then here would be without, just a listing of what the permit would include.
Right. okay.
Was there anything else that you
No,
needed for that?
That was fine.
I think that's.
Okay.
Yes.
So, hear a motion to,
I make a motion, we accept the zoo regulations
with the corrections made,
with corrections.
and we'll present the final copy, at the, we'll review it one final time next
Okay.
meeting as well.
All right.
Because we did make a lot of additions, so
Okay.
let's make sure before we approve it, I withdraw that,
Yeah.
and I think we should review the final draft before we approve it at the next meeting. There
Would you
go.
like legal counsel to review the zoo regulations?
The what?
No, I don't think it's necessary, it follows,
State law.
Do
state
you
law.
wanna see this?
State and federal zoo regulations?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Uh-huh.
That's what, I'm glad.
Yeah, we're just making some simple statements so that they have to follow those, and that's
So-
what we were looking for.
The way it's set up is we have, was it section 10 or 11 or something like that? Is that what it is?
Oh,
Article,
It will be at the end, right? It'll be added on to the last section,
yeah.
so it will be,
I think somewhere in there is like one line.
One line or
One
something,
line.
right, I think there might be.
Was-
wherever that is.
Look in the front, is it in the front?
Oh, right, sorry, index, that would help.
Down at the bottom. Yep, right there.
Be Article 10, yes,
Okay, so it's Article 10.
and then be 10.1, 10.2,
10.2, yeah,
so on and so forth.
right.
Okay,
That's all I wanted.
yep, and then you can work on that, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Briarwood Townhomes update.
I just sent that email today.
Yes, they had some deficits in their testing last June. They finally sent the report to us last September, and since then, we've been, waiting for them. Gave them 3 months to work on it, and they have not followed through. So, so Nancy, reached out to them, and they responded in March 5th saying, "Hello Nancy, Briarwood is under a hardship, citations 3 and 4 cannot be completed at this point." and then Nancy emailed them back, saying, "We are sorry to hear about your hardship. The Hubbardston Board of Health requests a realistic time frame to comply. At this time, the Board of Health is requesting that you write a letter informing the residents of the non-compliance when repairs will be completed. The board will expect to receive a copy of this letter as well. Please respond to this email if you have any questions." So we're continuing to follow up on this, and that's where we are. Okay. Metal Recycling Day, a Saturday in May.
Perfect.
Uh,
Second or third Saturday, when is
Let's see, the
everybody-
second Sunday is what, Mother's Day usually?
Mm-hmm.
The second Sunday of May, okay.
So what would be the third Saturday?
Or
May 17th.
11 would be the 18th.
The Saturday.
Saturday,
17th.
the 17th. Is that okay with everyone at this point?
Sounds good.
It's about a month later than, Earth Day activities, so
Yeah.
that's fine too. Okay, so we'll pick May 17th for the spring metal recycling day, and then, of course, we try and have it twice a year.
Mhm.
Maybe this year we can get, a simple flyer that not only goes to, so, you know, senior center, library, post office, and so on. There's a few homes I would like to be able to stop by and give them the flyer and say, we would like to encourage you
So
to
want a
bring your metal to be.
simple flyer?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
all of us on our different roads can, if there's someone we think that would benefit from that, we can
Yes.
just give them a copy, because I do know that some people don't have email or computers.
Do you wanna pick a time?
Oh,
Usually do 10 to 1.
10 to 1,
Mhm. Sounds good.
all right.
At the highway department?
It's at the recycling center. We still have a section that's called our recycling center, which is next to the DPW.
I'll pull up publisher and see what I can come up with.
That's great. And then, of course, before, as we get closer, then we have it go up on the electronic board and everything, so. Judy. Okay, I've been.
Oh, he's back.
I wasn't losing my brand new water bottle.
Oh. Would you like to speak?
Sure.
Did you need to come in?
Hi.
So at this point, we'll, hold off on any other new business because we have Nate.
What do you want to speak about?
I don't know.
All right, the only thing that I really have to update you on and request from the board is for you to, at some point, create a workflow of sorts as to what bringing your permits onto our new e-permitting system would look like. I have the levels of experience that I have and the World Wide Web at my fingertips, but there are still some aspects of that workflow that me and Leanne, who is the Administrative Services Coordinator for the community, who works for Board of Health Assessing and the Town Clerk's Office, are putting together all of these e-permitting projects. I think Nancy and her made the decision that they're being released on April 16th.
I
From-
did. She told me that.
Yeah, so that'll be the first round, which is building, electrical, gas, mechanical.
And
So-
plumbing.
So Nancy's other job. And then the next round of e-permitting will be the DPW and the Board of Health.
And is that in May or June?
I don't know.
So-
If you,
So what, I'm keeping my fingers crossed multiple ways, because this fits in with, we'll get an intern from the Department of Public Health.
I would love that.
We are, and, we had one person lined up, but they are very far away. They were asking for a couple different things, so I asked the coordinator, Nicole, if we could maybe have other choices to choose for an intern. So she looked through the list and found two that, are attending Fitchburg State College and would be much closer. So, you know, if we want them 4 half-days a week, it's more likely to be possible than what the other person, the first one that was interested in helping us.
I
Um,
wondered about that. When I looked at it, how
Cause I
far
can
away she
present you
was.
with draft workflows. I am just after.
Don't ask me to help with that.
Just
You're
after-
over my head here. So I'm hoping that a college student would have the skill sets to help us get through this.
It's
Don't count on it.
unfortunately not, I can 100% find a project for your intern to do.
Oh, no, we have plenty lined
Like-
up, but I thought that,
But it's not that level. It's like, I can read the forms, you can read the forms. It's more the, what do you want to happen when, who approves what? Cause that, we went into the building permit blind, and that took it from what should have taken 3 weeks to we're going on 5 months. Like, so I
Well-
would just like in one setting to present the ideas to you guys, and we will go through them and say, oh, this doesn't really make sense, that does make sense, like, what if we did this, so that we can then go to the drawing board, create it all, and then when we come back to it, it's more of a finalized product and not a, hey, let's talk about this again. Cause
So-
we're
so-
on revision 57 with the other licensure.
So a lot of the information he's talking about is on Mass.gov, right? I mean, on that program that you get into,
no.
something,
OpenGov?
yeah,
That's the old permitting.
yeah.
That's the
Well, all
old
all the
system.
information would be.
And if
the-
you guys could
who-
think of a
the
fun
who,
name,
what,
Yeah.
who,
that'd be
what,
fun.
when, and
Yes,
where would
yes.
be
Or
on that.
That's the same
Online.
type of thing
Yeah,
as when
cause
you
we're
look at
Right.
calling,
flow
the whole
from,
program is
for
called
Portage.
Hub
So it
Connect.
shouldn't be that
And
hard
so
to
far
put it
we
together.
have Hub
Okay.
Fix,
Just wanna make sure we're
Hub
not getting into
Inspect,
something
which you
that-
guys can
No,
fall
this
under,
is-
but
this
if you
is
wanna
not
pick
walking
your own,
into the
like Hub
weeds.
Health, you could.
No, this
I'm
is
all
what I-
about this new branding effort.
Well, the Hub Health is, how we're registered with MIIS and stuff, so Hub Health would be the most practical name to
Yeah,
use.
and this program can also run forms for your signups, and we have a Power Automate backing, which is auto emails, auto Excel spreadsheets, auto SharePoint files, like, it's a pretty impressive program that will be able to roll out
For
over time.
septic and stuff like
For
that.
whatever you want, like, we're gonna be able to, what this grant and this initiative are funding is a theory that myself and the select board came up with, that with emerging technology and staff members that are qualified, we can create things that the town would not necessarily be able to afford with plug and play applications. Because if you go and look at what we've been making, like the budget transparency website that I had put out,
Mhm.
to buy that would have been 10 grand. It
Mhm.
took hours, like,
Mhm.
so we're gonna try to recreate things, and my goal here is to make sure that we're creating sustainable initiatives.
Right.
Cause the problem with a lot of the past initiatives was that they were great when they were new, but with turnover, lost their sparkle and then lost their use completely. So we're going to be putting everything together centralized in this new connected app space, one by one, bringing it all together. There's gonna be iPads at the counters in all the different offices in due time. And
So we can help
So-
people with, if
So
they
the
have,
forms are, permits, septic, in other words,
all the forms that are on
yeah.
our portion of the website.
mhm.
And this is the first conversation, like, don't think I'm out there planning and
No,
doing,
I
like,
understand.
this is
I get
this is
this.
combo one, and I didn't plan on having it, but I was already at the historical committee meeting. And-
Yeah, yeah, so they could fill it out either at an iPad or
Or their
on-
phone,
or their
or their
phone, or at
computer.
home. And the approval process would still have to go through the Board of Health meetings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Same as always, but to have
And
it
then after
a
the
big-
meeting or at the meeting, you would, whatever you wanna do, you would have Nancy hit approve, deny, seek clarification. And then instead of having Nancy write an email saying, dear sir or madam,
Right, it
like
just
da-da-da,
goes right out.
it just goes, like.
Yep, that would be really helpful,
And,
time-wise.
and then on the back end, you guys will be able to log in at any time to see real-time data, because we're gonna end up using it as a budget initiative as well to see where different bottlenecks are happening and what is actually coming in more than we thought was coming in, because our budget should be backed by data.
Oh, sure.
And not just arbitrarily like, oh, let's go, like, so.
Right, that it shows that 60 whatever permits came in of this
Mm-hmm.
amount and 30, and it's cumulative.
Yeah,
What you're
and-
saying, it'll act cumulatively throughout the year, the budget year.
And because dollars don't always represent the amount of work that goes behind certain permits, like there are some squeaky wheel constituent services and there are some times, but if we go back and look and say like, oh, the dog licenses are open to close in 3 days, but the building license is a bad example, but the building license are open to close in 3 months, there's obviously the need to put more staffing behind the service providing the building license. So that's the type of data we're going to be.
That would, you'll be able to build off of
Yep.
when you apply for grants or whatever,
Mhm.
yeah.
And just if the data shows that the Board of Health is absolutely above their head in work all year round, when the budget comes, we say, oh, maybe we need a part-time clerk, like maybe Nancy doesn't need 3 jobs, and like, so,
Yes, and that will help that, yeah.
yeah.
That would be good. I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Yeah, so just basically all I'm saying right now is think about it. Like,
Sure.
if go on the website, look at the forms that are there, really think outside of the box. If there's a way that we can take this, I'm super into the e-permitting and the initiatives and the generative AI type stuff. We're not going fully that route because
Can
I don't
make
think
mistakes.
Hubbardston's necessarily the community to do so, but, yeah.
But even like the, for the septic designs, and
Mhm.
they would, it would be a requirement, like they couldn't leave out who was going to do the install. It would be a required, so they couldn't finish the permit without having that information.
That would save you a lot of headaches.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and more or less what I'm gonna need, and it's more a Nancy thing than anybody, I just knew that it was the one thing I could talk about, besides Helpsy bins, that we'll bring up after, and I'm more going to need help with the workflow of what happens when there's an inspection, cause that's where we kinda completely lost track with the building stuff, because it can go in so many different directions
Oh,
that
okay.
it's hard to track. And that's what I wanna sit down and map out, so that we only have to build it once or twice, not this never-ending back and forth. Nothing could be as challenging as getting all of the part-time inspectors to come in and agree. So I don't anticipate it being that challenging, but I definitely wanna get the board's approval, and even if it's not formal, at least a little thumbs up, like, hey, that makes sense. So that when it comes to fruition, you're not going, oh, I hate that new program. Like, it's silly, because by having you buy in now, we're sold, because you helped create it. Yep, but that's the next couple months, as part of the Everything is New initiative that I'm now getting very, very tired from.
Sure. Okay,
Judy has an office. Like,
Yes.
like,
yeah,
Yay.
Other than that, everything's going okay. If you haven't made it down to check out 48 Gardner Road, it's very, very nice for what it is at this time. Morale seems very high. Thanks, Nancy has the cutest office of all of the people. Like, just nice little corner. I think there's a rocking horse or a truck. Like,
There's
yeah.
a truck and a horse.
Yeah. But if you haven't checked it out, feel free to come down anytime. It's your building.
I've been there numerous
I know.
already, helping out.
Have you been there, Diane?
I have, yes, I have.
Yep.
I was there the other day.
Yep.
Your warrant submission will be on the annual town meeting
Okay.
warrant.
Okay.
I am unfortunately sort of the interim accountant.
I
I am
understand.
not qualified by trade to be the interim accountant, so we're working on that. But I am our chief financial officer, so it's my duty, my fiduciary duty, and we're working on that.
Okay, I thank you. I reached out to someone I know in Connecticut, to see if there's anyone that's interested in the position.
Yeah, we got a couple of applicants, each leaves something to be desired, which is okay. But, and then there's the vendors out there, and when you're a municipal CPA vendor, you get sort of a mixed bag reputation, as I'm sure it's the same with the Board of Health types, like, cause one person loves you, and the next person you're the worst, and so you can't really take too much stock in
General descriptions.
opinions from listservs and different communities, because quite literally I called two people yesterday, two friends. One of them had a swear to say about the company, and the other one thought sunshine and rainbows just spewed from every orifice in their body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard.
I have 6 no, wait a minute. I have 9 accountants in my MRC. Maybe I'll just, maybe I'll just throw a, see if anybody
Just throw a
wants.
bone out
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
right now it's 20 hours at between $30 and $35 an hour. I'm not willing, with the select board's approval, to go full virtual, but we are willing to have it be either 1 full day or 2 half days. Like, the job really doesn't need to always be there, but
In person,
after
right.
several years of having no one there, I feel like it is the best for constituents and staff to have at least someone that is,
Accessible
if
to
not
people.
there
Yeah.
a couple days a week, at least regionally, so that when stuff hits the fan, they're there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's what I emailed my friend.
yeah, because municipal government, not just this one, but in general, operates about 8 to 10 years behind in technology. And the town of Hubbardston, who is even a little bit behind that across the board, tried to run a virtual accountant way before maybe we should have, because we were running a paper-based program under the guise of virtual. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Ms. Pontbriand and look forward to seeing her in the future, but I don't think virtual will work for this community at this time.
Yeah.
The
That's-
accountant resigned.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
and I understand, and that's one of the reasons, the one intern that we sent the info about, kind of backed away from, because they wanna be more virtual than in person, and for the same kind of reason, yeah.
It's not impossible,
I know.
but and this camera's kinda creepy, so you ever seen the other side of this? It
No.
videotapes the whole room and zooms in on you when you talk.
Oh, boy.
It was grant funded last year.
rough not knowing that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's not on. Like,
Ignorance is bliss.
but it's very cute. Its eyes light up. It's an owl. It goes hoo-hoo when you turn it on.
No
So
way.
yeah, it makes you forget how creepy it is because it's very cute.
Thank you.
No, thank you
Appreciate you
guys.
staying and bringing that to us.
I don't think I have too much other stuff. As I told you, if with your help seep-in request, if Travis, if you talk to him and he has a spot that he thinks wouldn't interfere with the parking plan that he's kind of building in his mind
For the
for the 48 Gardner Road. I have no problem.
We'll hold off until we know.
Yeah.
It's down next to the
There's just so much to do up there.
right.
And the pieces are, it's very much hurry up and wait.
It's okay.
And we're not going to
They're
be,
present at the, outside the recycling center driveway right now, so anyone can drop stuff off there at any time that they want. The reason we want to promote that is because we do get, based on weight, a few cents on the pound. So it's not much, but it's something.
With
And
the
the more that we
town-
can recycle and upcycle, materials, that's gonna be better for our economy, the way things are right now.
with the town hall being where it is at this point, I ask that you sort of weigh your considerations between the benefits of putting it here or down there. Cause with less cars nowadays, although I talked to some of the police officers who says there are equally as many cars here as there were before. But, so, see, you can propose putting them anywhere. We did move the book bin last year, but I've been trying for the better part of 2 years to get them to push that other bin back so that the plows don't hit it, but,
Yeah,
no, it's not something they necessarily want to do.
who needs to do that? The bin owners?
It's apparently an act of Congress.
I see.
No, the bin company went out of business and it's a whole convoluted thing.
Okay. It gets emptied routinely already, okay.
Do you
Well,
have a link to the application?
I don't have a tractor that can travel
The
3 miles and lift it and move it, but
application, if somebody was
Mm-hmm.
It's on the-
interested.
it's on the
I
main
don't have a tractor
page
that
of
can
the
travel
website.
3 miles that can lift it, but I know a couple people who might. We could possibly get it moved.
I just wanted to.
I don't know how they empty it currently. They open the side of it.
But if they're not even in business, how do they empty it?
How's it, I was wondering how it gets emptied currently. Someone comes and opens the door and puts it in? Okay.
I don't think I've seen you since we got these nifty pins.
Oh, we'll take it, Penny.
No.
Certainly.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
67.
Next, under new business, the intern. I started in on that we're now looking at 2 different candidates. And, when I hear back from Nicole, does discussions with them and then brings them, for us to oversee them, we'll finally have them. One of the things that, and I need to ask you that question, you don't have to answer yay or nay, Nate. The library, would like to have all those, file cabinets moved by the end of.
I knew I shouldn't have come to this meeting.
The end of June. Question is it possible to store them at the new site or not? And you can think about it.
Anything is possible.
That
This
would be one of the tasks we could have the intern help us with, since there is to, help get that accomplished.
Now, my question more to, it's less of a problem of is there availability over there and more of a question of does the Board of Health have money for a mover, or do you have some sort of large favor with the DPW director that you can cash in? Like, that's the problem there. Is
Gotcha.
there's so much going on and they're understaffed.
They are,
And
right.
when their options are, when they have to do all of
Something.
everything and the potholes and do a road,
It's beyond their
I
pay.
really
Right.
feel bad when I ask them to spend half a day
Doing
moving things. They do it most of the time. There's only been one time that I've had the DPW say, hey, we really
Can't do it.
can't. But it's,
Okay, we'll look at that too. Yep.
and the favor thing was a joke. The DPW does not operate in favors,
I know
but
they don't. but in kindness
Yeah.
to the requests and under the budgets.
Yeah, and that's and even the little amount of, we did have a moving company and the DPW still had a lot to do when
Yeah.
we moved.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of stuff, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay,
Did we ever, yes, we did come to a conclusion on the destruction of things, and Melody has to do research.
yes,
Yeah,
which
so-
hasn't been
which has
done,
not- which has not been
and
done.
may not happen by the time that the library wants those files out of there. That's why I asked the question. So, the library trustees, I should say. Okay,
Want me to
we'll
go-
work on
Want me to
it.
go talk to the library trustees? I'm
It's-
pretty sure I can
it's-
get us an extension.
We'll work on that.
Let's link up on that.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things that's out there amongst the other 60,000 that you're already addressing, so thank you. Okay, Mass DEP well driller program?
What's this?
Okay.
Where you gonna put that, add that into the regs.
Oh, yes, thank you for the reminder. Back in early March, we got an email from Eric Chung, CHEUNG, at mass.gov, sent to a number of, departments, DEP and so on, that, the Mass DEP Well Driller Program is reaching out to Massachusetts municipal boards of health with reminders of our well driller regulations requirements. Your role is vital to ensuring that well drilling activities are supervised by a Massachusetts certified well driller, and that a well completion report is submitted to Mass DEP and us within 30 days of work completion. Please review the following information and contact us with questions and concerns. And so we need to take a look at our well driller reg.
Probably not. Because I remember when I did them, that I had to add a whole lot from
Into it.
this well driller program.
Okay.
So we can take a look, but I don't think we're
Have to
need to
add anything?
do a lot.
All right, I will add that to my responsibility. Okay, grant prioritization working session. Remind me what that is.
I can do you one better, I have all the sheets.
Oh, okay. Okay,
I
housing.
think that was
Well,
on, I think that was, maybe I
It's okay.
forgot to take it off.
All right, housing inspector, I have been working with, Steve Curry for MPHN, under the a grant that MPHN has gotten, they can provide housing inspectors at no cost to us.
Well,
That's right.
I was on their,
Do you-
I've been on the last two meetings.
What did they say?
And they were saying that they're still having a lot of problems getting their inspectors up and running and being able to work the way they want, to work the program the way they want it to work.
Okay,
So they're still having some problems.
okay,
And they said more to come this coming meeting,
okay.
which is May something, I just got
Yeah.
the notice today.
Yeah, I forget where it is. So, my question was, I asked that they send us proper procedures and contact information for housing inspection / complaints. And,
Oh, yeah, that was another thing about, remember that survey? And we said we weren't gonna do it.
oh no, we sent most of the information they needed.
Yeah, on the septic net, they said very few towns participated.
My Taco
Oh,
Bell
wow.
gift card.
Oh,
or that in that survey.
so I see it's been used though.
On any of the surveys that they've passed out. Very few towns participate.
Probably don't have
They
time
also
to.
have, huh?
I said they probably don't have time to.
And staffing to
Or-
send this stuff
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, or there's not an interest. The other thing that they were saying was that they don't, have the interest and the, participation has been dropping. When I was there were 7 people
At the meeting.
at the meeting. So, and most of them were from Pittsburgh, I would say 4 of them. It was Phil and myself. And
Out of the
another-
13 communities that's part of the MPHN.
But none of those were there.
Gotcha.
So, there were only three or four of us that were outside of Pittsburgh. So,
Wow.
yeah, so, that's a problem, so I did tell them though, they wanted to know what would bring people in, and I said, well, you know, it would be nice to know what you're doing with all this grant money. You know, where's it going? What is it, what programs are you supporting with this grant money? You know, you talk a lot about the grant money, but, you know, it would be nice to know exactly
Right.
what is being done with it, where is it going, what towns are being supported, what programs are being supported in what towns. And they said that was a valid question, and so they were gonna take a look at it and see if they could start being a little more open on that, starting next month.
The
It's
other
not the
thing.
priority.
The other thing that I would suggest, and I can maybe send them an email that had come up at our Board of Health. Meetings used to be held in Westminster, and a lot of the towns out here would make it to the meetings.
Well, they're tied in with the TV in Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
so that's one reason why now it's in Pittsburgh,
right,
because of the TV setup,
okay,
but.
for the Zoom and everything.
Have you ever been there? It is a nice setup.
Is it?
Pittsburgh Access TV, Fat TV.
Okay, all right, so, that would have been one of my suggestions, bring the
Move it back
meetings.
to Westminster.
Mhm. Because, I think it's easier for someone from Athol to get to Westminster than it is to Fitchburg, although, and to be honest, I'd rather be face to face with y'all instead of on a Zoom meeting.
Mhm.
And I think just like having an accountant come in person, we all respond better if we can do in-person activities part of the time,
Mhm.
whether it's a meeting or whatever, versus Zoom visit.
One of the town meeting articles that actually just received the Cable Commission's vote of support and endorsement is the creation of a hybrid meeting room at 48 Gardner Road. It would be ADA compliant in the old Realtor's office. It would be temporary, and the idea would be that whatever would be purchased for this meeting room, it would be utilized as the second largest meeting room in a different location for the final project. Just my going kind of joke about this was the last time the town of Hubbardston moved into somewhere temporarily, they stayed for 70 years. So I'm hesitant to say anything is too temporary, but that will be, it's a $45,000 request to move the utilizing PEG access fund, so it is not taxpayer funded, it is ratepayer funded, to move the cable stack from the police department over to 48 Gardner Road, which is $10,000 in itself. Like, nothing fun, nothing pretty, nothing new, the move, 10 grand. And, yeah, so look forward to that, it's riveting. But where I was going with this is that new setup would create a more seamless viewer interaction for those at home. And there would be, the current working plans is 3 televisions, so one on each side and one behind the speakers. And as much as I love this great table, drilled a hole in it, it's very, very large, very quality, it's a one-trick pony. So when we want to have public hearings, table, trainings, table. It is everything table. So we're looking at getting more malleable equipment to set up in that room should the town meeting approve this initiative.
Can donate a number of folding 6-foot-long plastic tables if you like them, instead of something like this.
Yeah. And then it would allow Brittany and Bridget, and they've been locked out a number of times. So it's just, overall, it's probably not the most appropriate to have the cable set up in the police department. But we're solving one problem at a time.
Yep. Yep. And you put up those nice,
Yep, so about 3 weeks ago, we had what Madam Chair had just mentioned, the grant prioritization session with a company called Capital Strategic Solutions. We have contracted Capital Strategic Solutions to work with us first on the prioritization of grants. There were approximately 15 people in the room. We had about a 25 to 30 minute conversation just where everybody was spitballing priorities, and then everybody in the room got stickers and they prioritized accordingly. So 48 Gardner Road did come in highest priority, followed by cell service, staffing, extended services, like there's just, and we had a decent variety of, Kathy, you were there, correct? No, we had a decent, were you?
I was.
You were, we had a good variety of people from different committees, so I do think this is well represented. All of the people were generally involved individuals, but that's kind of how all of the meetings are. It was some of the faces you would expect to be there, but no, the priorities came out really clear, and I think this is gonna be good information to have moving forward. And there's going to be this, it's not always just gonna be big pieces of paper in my truck. It's going to be a nice report.
yeah. But this is a good visual way to work on it initially.
And I got lucky because I just didn't bring him into my office, like, and that was it. And we are at least taking baby steps on most of the priorities. Yep, that's that.
Okay,
So the school came up pretty high then. Or emergency
The
shelter.
overnight shelter.
Yeah, it came up pretty high, 6, not bad.
Under that, is there anything that came up in the discussion for that's for emergency stuff that was needed
Yeah,
for the school?
we applied for a grant, and by we, I mostly mean Judy. And the grant is in partnership with the town of Hardwick, and it would be to explore the feasibility of a mounted solar array / battery energy storage system to run the majority of the power at both Hardwick Elementary and Hubbardston Center School, and snuck into there as a cherry on top is a generator. So at this point in the grant phase, it would just be a development grant where
Gotcha.
the people would come in and draw out the maps and make the plan. But a lot of times when you are funded from MVP, which is a rather large grant program in the Commonwealth, for those initial phases, you can usually anticipate the final funding as well, because why would they spend X dollars?
To start
But
it.
not every single time, like I'm sure there have been
Right,
projects
I
that.
listened on one of those Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
Got it, okay.
But yeah, we submitted that, and we'll see. In addition to that, I submitted a project to a grant application to turn 48 Gardner Road into a resiliency hub, and that is pretty much just buzzwords. But so it would be another solar array, HVAC upgrades, a generator, and a few other things. I had MRPC's assistance on that one. Anybody interested in reading both of those grants, they're short and available to anyone at any time.
Okay. Along that line, I met with, Jamie Terry to have the senior center be a second, emergency dispensing site.
I know you ruined my zen.
Sorry. She just wanted a quick visual of the room. That's why we were here, and filled out that whole report so that goes, so that we have two, because the senior center is used as cooling site and warming site, and we did vaccines here this past year and other years, so, in
'Cause
order
it's
to get.
handy. It's
Did you
handy,
look
yeah.
on Laserfish for that, for the plan that I was?
We got one.
Okay.
They had it when they did the ramp and the patio. There was paperwork there. One of the gals just pulled it out. No problem. All set. So that, I just have to have, the police chief sign off on 2 sheets of paper,
Yeah,
which
I
will
might
get done
even
this
have a
week.
giant one. Let me see.
We're fine. They don't even need it now, so,
I still should probably take it if it's in here.
okay. So that's moving forward. And once that goes through, then, we'll get a new AED for there instead of the old one that's there. And that goes through the PHEP program, emergency program. So, I think that we're using a lot of grant monies as well as we can. And it makes sense to have a second site, because if one would have to be for emergency housing, then you would still possibly need a second site for, dispensing of whatever in an emergency, so, makes sense. Okay,
Do we need to, put in some sort of, discussion or some sort of note about, EDS plans for people stepping into the position that don't know this discussion?
okay, so for our next agenda, we should bring up, and you go out, review the EDS plan,
Yeah, bring it,
okay.
and then maybe add again, as part of the preface or something like that.
Sure. Going back to the housing inspector, we don't have enough people to vote. The fellow that was doing it, basically he resigned, and, it's already come back to be in my lap again, as housing inspector, so I hope that that's satisfactory with both of you, to be temporary housing inspector again.
How long was this person in the position? A few months?
He just helped for a couple months.
Gotcha.
And he's taken on other responsibility in his own hometown. He's running for select board, so, so he stepped back on helping us with that. He is still our backup sanitarian. If Phil Ledger can't do it, then, he can do it. any other unexpected subjects? We've handled a couple already. And so therefore, under complaints, he's finishing up on one at Senior Citizens Center, or Housing, excuse me, Senior Housing, and then, I'm following up on two others. I went out and did a housing inspection last Friday with a police escort, and, that person is handling the situation, of a squatter, through the Worcester County Housing Court. So I went out quickly and filled out the proper report, and he took it with him to the court. Have you received any emails from that? Okay, so there's also, I think, another court appearance later this week.
I was just down at the housing, housing
Okay,
for a director's meeting.
were you? Okay, so I need to follow up with, Rich as to whether it's closed or not. It
Yeah.
was resolved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
I have dogs I have to feed.
Oh,
so-
please go. Take care of things. I don't know, would you be willing to do a wellness visit or
Sure.
nursing visit on that place if it comes up?
Yep, yeah, that's fine.
He actually called me on my cell while it was in the middle of vacation,
Okay.
and we had a good discussion.
Okay, yeah.
So I
Either
haven't, you
having-
haven't heard anything more either, have you? Okay, I need to follow up with
Yeah.
another thing.
We'll have the manager call me. I
So-
spoke with her the other day too,
Where
when
was
I
the
was down
wellness
there.
visit? Where will the wellness visit be?
Would be to the senior housing.
To the senior housing, okay.
Yeah, to check on an individual. I'm not sure it's needed, because there's a daughter that's involved with the senior person.
Yeah.
But,
There's also a social worker down there who's probably on top of it, and as well as the manager. So, yep, just tell them to give me a call.
okay. I'll see if that issue has been resolved or not. Are you just listening, Mike?
I am listening, but I didn't see a place to jump in. I can just wait till you get to item 14, and then I'll ask to be acknowledged.
Okay.
Does
We
that
should
work?
have them sign it.
Yeah. We need to have you sign in as a visitor.
I will certainly do that.
Thank you. Next would be, turnovers and warrants. We have the FY 25, 19, and 20. And then we have the,
Two APs.
yeah, the two APs.
Well, this one was already sent because Judy signed it.
Right, we had one that
It's for
was,
you to sign too.
that was sent on 3/25, and they were for overpay, and also to pay Phil,
Right.
the sanitary.
Well, it was $10. That was overpaid.
Yeah, that was small,
So I
but-
reimbursed.
Yeah, it was reimbursement, and then, Phil Ledger's.
And that's the rest of Phil Ledger's.
Okay.
It's going in tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, all right.
Jeez, I think it's cold in here.
By the way, RCAP is looking for a resident to be on the board of directors for the Holiday House. Now, if
Where?
you've got time, after you come off off the board.
You think Nate's gonna let me off the board?
No, he won't, but,
I don't think he's gonna let me off.
but you can try. That's been your plan all along.
Still a plan. I don't think he's gonna let me off.
Okay, everybody sign this, right?
Yeah, okay. The expenditure report, the last one received,
Well, we should let our audience know that we need Board of Health members.
We certainly do.
Bob.
Right here, was that's.
okay, so the last expenditure, ledger was prepared March 26th, 2025. The current balance of the BOH revolving, and that's with putting certain percentage to the town.
Yes, correct, yeah. Those are the-
Is
yeah.
$23,819.93, of which $18,750 is to be dedicated towards vaccinations and others things from account that we pulled into this in 2019. Then under septic revolving, we had been in the red, and as of March 26th, our current balance is $1,680. Recycling account has a balance of $3,147.24. So we wanna think about what we wanna do with the recycling account monies. The title
You might
fund,
wanna use some of that for moving
yes,
things.
right, possibly move, in order to move files, we may need to use some of our BOH revolving accounts monies and possibly, recycling money, to pay for the moving. And then under Title V loan program, so we have gotten some payments, good. I was just making sure we're finally getting repaid, cause it hadn't started for a long time. The current balance is $97,458.02. So if there's a townsperson that needs a repair, or replace of a septic system and wants to apply for some of the funds from us as a loan, septic loan, with lower interest than commercial loans, for that specific purpose, we do still have some funds available to do that. It's quite a lot of paperwork, but, it is available to all the citizens that, in town, who have a septic system that would, need that, and they would show that they would need the money to
That
get it
program
done.
is what, almost 20 years old?
Yeah. We've had,
I'll have to put that as
Another.
my legacy.
every once in a while, we had an applicant that got approved, last year. But we still have this fund of $97,458 that we can use to loan out. And then, then we watch for the payments to come back in. The payments come in with their taxes.
Okay.
It's billed on their tax bill. So it's coordinated with their taxes, so it's an easy payment system for them. Okay, and that's where we are financially. Okay, before we go to our next meeting, Mike Scholl, did you wanna ask a question or speak to something here as a
Yes,
visitor?
Madam Chair, thank you,
Sure.
Mike Stahl, 5 Lombard Road. I brought up actually before the meeting, pertussis, whooping cough.
Correct.
And I'd heard some rumors and misinformation, I think, based on my research, but some folks were talking that it is widespread, yet I could not find it on our state
Website?
Department of Health website, our local Hubbardston one, the Gardner one, and a couple other local places. But I do understand that pertussis is a reportable illness,
Correct.
and that there are several ways to diagnose it, and that people might confuse it with bronchitis, allergies, other things that cause a cough. And so I just bring that up because I hear one thing, yet when I go and look for that thing, it doesn't appear to be in any formal website or anything.
Well, the CDC announced on television news broadcasts about a week ago that there are, in comparison to a couple years ago, the number of whooping cough cases across the country has risen by X percentage. Obviously, you became aware of someone locally that worked for a service that may have been where the person picked it up. So there is at least one case in the state of Massachusetts.
Okay.
However, I have not gotten any emails indicating any numbers in Massachusetts. And no information that the percentage has increased in Massachusetts from the previous couple years, because they kind of do it on a every 2-year basis. They kind of analyze that sort of thing. Have you haven't either, Judy, right, through the
There's
MRC?
nothing on me, but no.
No. So to say that it's widespread, I suspect is a rumor, but it is widespread in that it is present throughout the United States. So if you're using that as your definition of widespread, yes, it is. But is it widespread locally? No.
Okay.
That
And-
is not anything that we are aware of.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was being discussed locally, and it wasn't, nobody referenced nationwide.
Right.
The other thing that came up in it is, how do you diagnose it, and whether or not a blood test versus a swab. There's a couple different analyses that can be performed on swabs.
Right.
That
If
are
you suspect
considered.
whooping cough, you should see a physician, or take your child if it's a child.
Well, one of the classic symptoms is that you get the coughing and you can't stop.
Yeah, whooping cough is just
And it's
that.
got a really
Deep bark.
weird, yeah,
It's a deep bark,
cough
Mhm.
to it, you
cough
know.
to it, and it's incessant. It cannot be stopped.
It's like, and that's why they call it whooping, because it's almost like a whoop, whoop, you know. Like,
Yeah, as you gulp for getting breath,
Right,
to cough again.
right.
And so if anyone should suspect that, they should go see a physician.
Right
Or
away.
go to urgent
Oh.
care right away.
Well, I believe
Yeah.
that happened.
So
And
that's,
it's-
it's not something that will go away by itself.
It's
Mhm.
one
They
of those
need to be
things, you just
treated.
need to stay up on top of your
Vaccinations.
vaccinations.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
these are all things that came up and are fairly easily researched online. But the individuals that were visited, they had both been vaccinated for pertussis, and several other things. I even brought
So, yeah.
one of the individuals to your vax session.
Right, yes, I know who you're referring
Yeah.
about. It's a local neighbor up the road. Yeah, but so the biggest thing with whooping cough is it's easily contagiable. Not quite as contagious as measles, but, and getting vaccinated at the appropriate times, and these pertussis vaccines that we currently have, based on all the CDC data, are safe for, not just the majority of children, but a huge percentage. I don't wanna quote a percentage, cause I don't have it memorized. And they've been out and-
Immunocompromised children would be the one population that probably,
Would have.
but that it would have to be up to the physician.
Right, whether they would get the vaccine or not. But these vaccines have been out for a very long time. They've been tested and retested and remodified to become safer and safer and safer. So, I encourage everybody to get their vaccinations as needed.
Keep them up to date.
Keep them up to date, that's how we stay healthy. That's how we avoid medical bills and unforeseen costs.
And even if you, and one of the things about vaccines is even if you do, like, that's what they were trying to say about influenza, you could still possibly get influenza, but it's gonna minimize
The symptoms.
the symptoms, because you've already got an army that's ready, set, go to combat the virus.
The antibodies in your own body is your army to
Yeah.
protect you from getting severely ill,
So,
right?
it can minimize and shorten the illness and minimize the illness, so.
Yeah, okay, well, I appreciate your time. I know that you have a long meeting, so I don't want to continue that, but thank you, Madam Chair. And it's mainly, what I was looking for is that there's no locally, an epidemic of
It's-
pertussis.
no,
And so I can,
It's
rather than.
widespread across the United
Right,
States,
well,
is
there's
the
not an
definition.
epidemic here in Massachusetts
No.
or in northern Worcester County,
No.
as evidenced by nobody reporting it and you're not hearing it. And that, I appreciate all the information, most of which, I've been able to research on my own. What I wanna do is be able to go back to some people that ask questions and say, hey, here's what the Board of Health said, and here's where you can go online and research more for their own benefit. I think,
And if they
I-
wanna hear the
I'm-
conversation, it will be up on YouTube.
sure, yep.
This
I-
meeting will be posted in the next couple
I
days.
go to many meetings
So,
and
it'll
know
be
when
there.
we're live and when we're not. So once again, I appreciate your information that you put out and letting me bring up that question. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. There's nothing else. Our next meeting date will be Tuesday, April 22nd at 7 PM here in the Slade Building. I have a question. Would 7:30 work better? I was gonna let folks, maybe that would help for better attendance from a couple people who aren't here tonight. Is 7:30 at night better,
My only
acceptable?
thing, my only thing, if it goes, beyond 9:30-ish, it gets kinda late, I'm up,
We,
so early in the morning for work.
so, no, the general rule is we don't go past 9, hopefully.
Right.
We'll table things and carry it over to the next meeting if we're running really
But
late.
the thing is if we start at 7 and it's 9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
would we go
so
to
it's a
9:30?
concern.
We would go to 9:30.
All right,
because they never-
so
I think
I
7 is a
didn't-
great time.
I think
Yeah.
it's a good time.
7's good with me, I just, is looking to see if it would make a difference for anybody, that's all. No big deal. All right.
We can find out and ask others
Yeah.
next time.
But then we would still have to try and make sure that we're done by 9.
Yeah,
I agree.
think so.
I get too tired after 9.
I think so. It's a
Mentally.
long day, yeah.
Okay, so, I'm going to adjourn the meeting at, 8:58 PM.